Good afternoon and welcome along to European Cricket Studio episode 15. I'm Michael McCann, and once again today I'm joined by the one and only man to have been born in Denmark and went on to play Test cricket. Amjad Khan, reveal yourself.
Hey.
Good afternoon. How are you doing? How have your last 48 hours since we spoke on Monday been in isolation lockdown life?
Yeah, not very eventful. The only positive is that we've actually started cricket training in obviously in very small groups, and that's nice. It means there's light at the end of the tunnel, I guess.
So what exactly does that involve? How big a group can you be in? Obviously social distancing important, presumably.
Yeah, at the moment we're groups of 6 that are spread in 3 nets. And yeah, at the moment, the group that I was in, we're just doing bowling. We bowl 6 each, pick up the balls. Then the next guy bowls 6, he picks up his balls. So it's all, obviously very careful, but it's just nice to be outside, and the weather is nice. So it's definitely progress.
And you mentioned on Monday hope of potentially cricket in Denmark towards the end of next month. Of course, we're not quite into May yet.
Yeah, I think that's what they're hoping for. The Prime Minister is going live on the 10th of May here, and she'll obviously, the rumor is that she's going to open up the country. I think that will entail sporting, not events, but amateur sport or semi-pro sport that they're allowed to play. Obviously, still within some sort of limitations.
Here's hoping. And of course, for those just joining, this is the Wednesday show, and the Wednesday and Thursday shows here on the European Cricket Studio are particularly interactive. They're all about you and your comments and your questions for our guests. So you can use the question bar at the bottom to ask Amjad anything you particularly like. Or, as the former England batsman Michael Carberry did, flash up in the comments with whatever you want to say. In the case of Michael Carberry, as well as a very nice compliment, it was comparing you to Ramiz Raja, which I know is a comparison you particularly enjoy. And that kind of moves us on towards the focus of this chat. So we talked a lot about Danish cricket on Monday, but we didn't really go into much detail about your time in an England shirt. So for those that maybe need a refresher, it's 2009. It's England versus the West Indies. You come close to being involved a couple of times. Just what exactly happened that led to you being given that chance to become a Test cricketer?
It's an interesting one because the West Indies tour was actually my 3rd England tour. So I'd been on, the first time I was called up was in India 4 months before. And it was Sajid Mahmood and I were called up because I think Broad and Flintoff got injured. And then obviously the terrorist attack happened in India, and within 48 hours we were back in England. So I think I actually believe that would have been my debut. Then obviously we went to India, we were back there, and I didn't play the 2 or 3 tests that were played there. But in West Indies, I got called up because of an injury to Flintoff, I think. And Ravi Bopara and I flew from New Zealand all the way to Barbados. I can't even tell you how many hours that took. I think about 30 hours. We got there completely jet lagged, had no idea what day it was. And within a week, I was bowling quite well, and England was struggling. And we played that test in Barbados, and they almost gave me a chance then. And then I think we drew that. I think it was a draw. So we needed to win, and I did have a feeling that this would be my chance because we were struggling to get 20 wickets. And the day before the test match, Andrew Strauss took me aside and he was like, "You're in. We want you to go as hard as you can, as fast as you can. We're not going to tell anyone. So West Indies won't have an opportunity to have a look at you beforehand or do any research on you. So we're going to announce it tomorrow, but good luck."
Yeah, I've got the exact quote that you gave to CricBuzz here, which was, "We want heavy wheels, forget about the rest, just terrorise them as much as you can, and excuse the profanity, just bloody nailed them. And you said, I literally just went for their heads on a very docile, slow wicket. For those who weren't there or didn't see it at the time, because it was a series where pitches were very much in question, just how slow was it?
Oh, it was. I remember. I think it was my first or second over. I was bowling at Chris Gale, and I bowled a relatively full delivery, and it got clocked at about 93 miles an hour, and he edged it, genuine edge, and it went to Strauss at first slip on the fourth bounce. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Okay. Yeah, and I remember Strauss, he obviously got the fielded the ball, and he sort of looked up almost in disgust. It was just like, it's not right, because it was a genuine nick, and it wasn't even close to carrying. So it was one of those. They prepared a really low, slow one, and again 550 plays 550, and then another million, and then you sort of get half a chance in the last innings.
And of course, people might not remember, but despite the high first innings scores and pretty slow, not overly thrilling Test cricket, it still nearly got to a conclusion. England ending 2 wickets short of the victory on that 5th day, very much sort of so close yet so far. But the pitch was, you know, as home sides are able to do, the pitch was prepared to suit their position in a series, which was 1 up with 1 to go. Did you feel like you had a bit of a thankless task of a Test debut?
Well, I took it with both hands. I was really happy to play. And it was interesting, after the game, I had a meeting with Flower and Strauss, and they're like, listen, you could have had 4 or 5 wickets the way you bowled, and you have, obviously, you have something different to offer us to stay fit. I didn't stay fit, but it was encouraging words.
And it was that persistent knee problem that kept coming up. Now, we had Michael Carberry pop up in the comments on Monday. It's another of your Kent teammates who also once upon a time played as a batsman for England. He's popped up here. Rob Key says, how many did you chuck?
Obviously none. Keezy knows that I was tested at Loughborough, and I was just about under the allotted limit. So I'm just under what I'm allowed, what's illegal. So I have it on paper, Keezy, so there's no need to go there.
Because, I mean, it's not quite related to that, but another thing I noticed looking back on that scorecard at Port of Spain was, and I'm not meaning to pick you out, but you bowled 12 no balls. Was that part of the fact that you were just trying to bowl as quickly as you could, trying to get anything out of that pitch?
I mean, I had a no ball problem throughout my career. Keezy will know, he captained me for a long time, and he hated it. But the no ball issue, I only sorted it out the last 4 or 5 years of my career. There's something that I was always plagued by. And it was especially if I hadn't played. And before that Test, I hadn't played cricket for 6 months. And there we go. So Keezy saying I was born bowling no balls. Yeah, I was for a very long time. So it wasn't a surprise for me that I was no bowling, and it wasn't so much nerves. I made the decision beforehand. Am I going to be careful and feel my way in and get my feet in order, or am I just going to go, you know what, who cares? I'm just going to go full back. And with 550 on the board, I thought, well, rather than pulling myself back and trying to be careful, I might as well go all in. And if I do bowl no balls, who cares? We've got 550 on the board.
Yeah, Rob has also chipped in saying you've never bowled 93 miles an hour, 83 maybe.
Well, the speed. Well, it depends if the speed gun lies or not.
Well, that of course is another debate that always goes on. Obviously, you two would have known each other, and I presume were very good cricketing friends going back to all that time that you spent at Kent. Do you think that Kent really saw the best of you?
Yeah, I think so. I think especially Keezy. I said when we spoke on Monday that he's probably the best captain. I hate myself for saying it. Probably the best captain I played under. Had a profound influence on my career, and profound influence on how I kept improving. throughout my career. But I think Kesey he always said to me that, like, I tried to bowl really fast in that test match, and he said, well, your strength isn't necessarily your pace. It's actually moving the ball and swinging it and being skillful. And I think that's true. I think that my main strength wasn't necessarily my pace. I could bowl quick on occasions when I really needed to, but it was more the skill of swinging the ball. Yeah, and I think Kent saw that. Yeah.
Do you think that what you could bring to the England team then was maybe misunderstood a tad?
I think so. I think Kesey said it at the time. He's like, they're like, pace isn't what is your strength really. Like, you've got enough as it is. You don't need to bowl 93 miles an hour, but you can do it at 86, 87, or less sometimes, which I did for Kent. I think my skills, but at the time for me, to bring something to that team that no one else had was my ability, not necessarily my strength, but my ability to bowl fast. So I tried to, obviously played on that, and I thought that I would offer something different than all the other bowlers that we had at the time.
Because you had this extraordinary journey from being an 18-year-old who you play against Andy Flower, at the time one of, if not the world's best batsmen. He says he's just faced Wasim Akram and Waqar Younis, and you were actually quicker. A decade or so later, he picks you for England to play that test match. Did you feel like a bit of an outsider, not only coming into county cricket, but then even more so as the kid from Copenhagen coming into test cricket?
I didn't actually, to be honest. I think when I first came into county cricket, I was very naive and I was very raw, but I learned quickly. And to be fair, my Kent teammates obviously played a part in that. See you later, Kesey. They helped me integrate. I was, one of the lads very quickly. I was in the circuit for a while before I got picked for England. I think, objectively speaking, I should have been in the England fold after my first year, because I got 63 or 80 wickets that year. But I didn't have an English passport, so I had to spend the 5 years on the circuit. I got to know, I knew everyone in that changing room. I played against them in county cricket, played with a few of them. So, and I don't think anyone ever saw me as this Danish kid who's here. I mean, yeah, Graham Swan used to take the piss out of me, for being Danish, but it wasn't, no one saw it as a completely outlandish selection. I've been in the circuit. I knew everyone. I was just one of the other players. I could just offer something a bit different.
And what are your memories of those characters within that England team? Because it was an England team having a somewhat turbulent winter as well. Who did you kind of bond the most with within that England team environment? Were there particular people who you knew a little bit better than others because of the circuit?
Well, when I got picked for England, I'd already been touring with England A for a couple of years, I think a year and a half. So the likes of Adil Rashid, he was on that tour. I'd been taught, I think I toured with them three times beforehand. I knew Broad I toured with as well with England A. And so a lot of them I already knew from, England A. So it was, I think, obviously, the guys that I'd been on tour with already, I was closer to. So it was Adil Rashid, I was quite close to. I had a really good relationship with Flintoff and Harmison, who were also bowlers and who were really good to me, took me in and were really helpful. But I'm a type of person who just gets involved with everyone. I like taking the mick out of everyone, and I got on literally from A to Z. I got on with everyone, but I was obviously closest to the guys I've been on tour with before.
Yeah, naturally. And you had that test match in Port of Spain, but then also a T20 international where you managed to pick up a couple of wickets too. You got Ramnaresh Sharman out, again, having got him out in the test match, and not many other people were finding many ways of getting him out quickly that winter where he sort of terrorised England. What are your memories of the T20 game as well?
Oh, it was really amazing to be a part of. I had an idea that I might play, but again, I wasn't expecting it. I got retained for the ODIs afterwards too. So it was a great experience. T20 cricket, I've played lots of it. It's the most entertaining cricket to be a part of, especially for a bowler. You have, for me, I have 4 overs, basically just handbrake off and show your skill, be aggressive, and then you're off. It's like play football, really. You play for those 90 minutes and you're gone. And the big crowds, it's such a sexy way of playing cricket, and I can only imagine what T10 will be like. So it was a great experience. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We just weren't a very good T20 team at the time. England weren't.
You mentioned that Kevin Peterson in particular picked out your ability with reverse swing, which others did as well, and that express pace. There's a bit of you regret that you weren't part of this modern era where someone like you could have become a T20 franchise specialist almost, because you had a sort of X factor that could have been really well suited to that.
I don't think I regret it. I just, the way that T20 has obviously progressed, if you have any love for the game, you would love to be part of that. But for me, I really enjoy the longer format. And Kent also used me sparingly in the shorter formats because they were like, they could tell that I really excelled in the longer format. I know my first class wicket is about 300 or 400, but I always felt that was the ultimate test of your skill. I think if I was starting out now, if I had a contract now, and this was my first year at Kent, I think I would have put more of an emphasis on white ball cricket. Listen, I got my taste of it too. Like I played 3 seasons with Sussex we got to a T20 semi-final. I've been in a T20 quarterfinal. So I've definitely got a taste of it. But so I don't look back and think, oh, I wish I was playing now. I think I'm pretty content with how much I got.
Rob Key, for those who missed it, said before he went in a more complimentary way, very skillful bowler, great wrist, I should say, and a wicket taker, great lad. We've got a few more minutes left with Amjad before we move on to an ECL European Cricket League anthem special, taking you behind the scenes with some of the volunteers who make the tournament possible and whose incredibly hard work on the anthem brought that together that you hear so much around the European Cricket League and Dream 11 European Cricket Series as well. So this is your last call for any questions that you want to get in. Kevin says, should have played more for England. Quality bowler, quality with the bat also. That was something that often got forgotten about you, but you certainly could wield the willow down the order when necessary. So are we going to see some T10 and T20 cameos from you down the line for KB and maybe even in the European Cricket League one day?
Oh, I would have thought so. I think people say I always underachieved with the bat. Like the last season I had with Sussex, I was averaging 37 with the bat, and it was only when I came to Sussex that I started taking my batting seriously, and my average literally shot up. And the season I had there, I was averaging in my 30s. I actually remember the last game, I think it was a Pro 40 game we played. It was against Yorkshire. I came in. And I think I hit 17 off the last over to win us the match. And also, when I first started playing for Kent, I opened the batting as a pinch hitter for Kent. I was 21 years old. It was my first full season. Kesey and I opened the batting, and I remember facing Sean Pollock at the time, and I did okay. And so I think I underachieved. I think I'm probably overachieving at club level now because I'm taking my batting seriously. So I'm getting some runs, quite a few runs. But if I do have any regrets, I think I would have taken that. If I could go back, I would take my batting more seriously because I think I could bat. Most people will say I could.
So where do you bat now for KB in both the 50 over and the 20 over comps?
Um, top five, top six. And my club in England, I bet in the top 5 or 6, wherever I need to really. If I always say that I should never take the place of someone younger, so I should go in where the team needs me. So if the team is doing really well, I'll just go down the order. But if we're having a bit of a collapse, then I'll come in and stabilize, or I'll be the finisher. But I'm never going to be one to take anyone's spot. I'll only do what's absolutely necessary for the team in the right moment. So.
You mentioned that knock against Yorkshire, which has proved to end up being your last list day game. But you had contract offers on the table in 2014 from multiple counties. And a lot of people would have kept playing because it's the classic play as long as you can. Mm. But you turned that down for the next step of your life. Why did you do that?
I think one of the things that was drilled into me by my parents really is education. And I always knew that there's an expiration date for any sportsman. And it's a frightening prospect for many, because what are you going to do when you finish the game, or the game is taken away from you? So for me, I realized that I wasn't going to play for England anymore. I felt that I had a really good career, and I thought, well, there's no point being in the unknown when I've done as well as I have. I'm fit and healthy. I can do some work for Denmark. I can still keep playing because I still have love for the game, which I do 6 years later now too. But I thought it would be good to get out of the unknown sort of thing of what's going to happen after I finish and take control of that. So I got, I kept playing in England for my club. I kept playing for a couple of Danish clubs and for Denmark too. But then I obviously started my legal career and started getting a degree next to the cricket. But I think for me, it was about taking control when I'm fit and healthy and strong. Because I think for many players, and you would have seen it on the PCA website, when the game is actually taken away from you, that can have lasting effects on you. So I took control, and it's the best decision I ever made. And also, people don't remember me as the 37-year-old still trying to bowl 30 overs in a day in a second team game. They remember me as a first team cricketer who played for England and was at his best.
And of course, you're just at the back end of that 5-year degree now in intellectual property law and starting to work in the industry too, but you're still playing cricket. You told me when we were building up to this interview that in the last year or so, it's the first time where you've started describing yourself as a person who's a lawyer who plays a bit of cricket. That must have been a big life shift.
Yeah, it was interesting because, as you said, I've always identified myself as a cricketer. And to be fair, I did the law degree alongside doing my cricket stuff. And it was, as I said, in the last year, I sort of said, well, maybe I should try getting some sort of a part-time job. And I got one job, and then I got another job. And I was like, I'm really enjoying this. And then you start getting into it more. Academia sort of takes over your life a little bit too. So, and now I think cricket is the love for the game. It's my first love. That will never change. But in terms of work, because it has been my job, I don't see cricket as a job anymore. I see it as my passion alongside my job, which is now law and being a lawyer.
But the flame still burns bright. And now that you've almost taken that pressure off yourself, in a way, do you think it helped you to get KB back to the European Cricket League one day, because you've achieved everything you can achieve in a professional sphere. It's a bit of fun on the side of your job for you, and you can pass on that experience. So how much of a determination is it to take KB to the ECL?
Oh, it's massive. It's everything. I mean, we at KB have a head coach in Keith Mbangwa, who played for Zimbabwe, played international cricket. He is one of the best coaches I've been involved with, and I'm still learning from him. And me and him, we work closely together because both tasted the international scene. We're similar age, and for us, all we want to do is get the players ready to be able to qualify for that tournament, because that's our passion project with regards to cricket. So I mean, today training was cancelled because it's raining, but we are planning everything we can, and as well as we can, to qualify for that tournament. That's all consuming with regards to cricket for us.
It's been very noticeable across Europe how the European Cricket League, and also by extension the Dream 11 European Cricket Series, have sort of changed priorities for clubs like KB from the 50-over competition towards that 20-over competition. Obviously, in the case of you guys, you've won the 50-over competition twice, but fallen well short in T20. The announcement last week means that were you to win the Danish competition this year, either you would go straight to ECL 21, or the Danish Federation would have an option to do a playoff between yourself and the Skanderborg Stingrays, who are meant to be at the ECL this year. The ECL recommends that federations take a playoff, but it is up to the federations themselves. Is that kind of a one-off game, a sort of buzz that you would really relish?
Absolutely. Like over the last 2 years, we won the 50-over stuff, which were decided by a final, and the buzz of it and the pressure of it is something that these guys aren't used to. And we did the same last year, which were actually more or less 2 finals against Svanholm in the 50-over. And I was exhausted, and I said to the guys, this is the closest I've been to the pressures that I felt when playing professionally. I said, and they loved it. And in terms of T20, we haven't been able to handle the pressure of a short game, lots of pressure, playing freely, but under control. So I'd love to see KB and Keith and I are hoping this will be the year where we can go, right, we've come so far. We're not only going to have 1 final, we're going to have 2 finals, and we'll show our worth. And we're going to enjoy the pressure of it. I'm hoping we're there now.
Brilliant. Well, I mean, that is quite a note on which to end it. So Danish cricket, look out, because of course we saw Svanholm in ECL 19. We were set to see Skanderborg Stingrays in ECL 20. And there's KB as well, with yourself very much heavily involved there, fighting to be back there. So I'm sure in time that is one that the whole of the European cricket community will be keeping a very close eye on indeed. For now, thank you so much for your time on Monday and today, Amjad, and all the very best in these current strange times.
You too. Look after yourself. Thanks a lot.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Telling us all about Danish cricket, his time with England, and everything else in between. But the fun doesn't stop there, because this is the Wednesday interactive show where you can get your comments and your questions in. Our next guest is our first part of an anthem special. Now that might sound a bit odd to you, but he's a guy who's got a very interesting backstory, and he's an individual that's had a huge part in something that doesn't necessarily get the notice or the credit that it deserves, in that we all saw and heard the ECL anthem playing out across La Manga and across the world, streamed live on ecn.cricket and on TV in 100+ countries. But we never really dug into the story of how that was all made. So that's exactly what we're going to do now, and across a few upcoming European cricket studios. Good afternoon, Harish Srinivasan, the writer of the lyrics for that anthem. How are you treating lockdown, and how are you in the current situation?
Good afternoon. I'm doing fine. The lockdown, I'm just looking at it as an opportunity to, reflect on the inner self, on the mind aspects of it. Because I imagine after this lockdown is over and this COVID thing goes past, we will be facing new difficult circumstances, and it's important to be mentally strong during that time. So looking at this time to improve on those faculties.
Absolutely. Hassan Shah says, what's the latest news about European cricket in this lockdown? Well, as I just mentioned, there has already been an announcement about ECL 21, and keep an eye out for the Dream 11 European Cricket Series, which I'm sure will resume somewhere on the continent as soon as it's safe to do so. But just to start right from the beginning, because you wrote the lyrics for the ECL anthem, and you're a writer by trade when you're not playing cricket for Germany and your club as well, just give us a lovely poetic reading of those anthem lyrics in your best sort of broadcast voice.
Sure. Actually, I'm an engineer as well as a writer by profession, so I do two.
Many talents.
Yeah. So the thing is, first I will say I will read two things. One is called Dream, and then the ECL anthem. The Dream is where it all started. The anthem itself it started. So it's called Dream. Dream, my friend. Dream. Dream as far as you can. Dream as high as you can. As in reality, you have a limit called sky. But in your head, in your imagination, in your world, you are your limit. But in your head, in your imagination, in your world, you are your limit. Stretch your worth to infinity and go beyond it. Stretch your worth to infinity and go beyond it. Fill its realm with your wishes and take one step. Take one step in reality towards it. For sometimes a small step towards your dream could be a giant leap for people kind. So this is called Dream. This is where it started. So I wrote this poem, and then later Vesti's birthday came up. I wrote this poem long back, and I thought, okay, because we have been having chats about this European Cricket League during our national team practice and everything. Since the German cricket TV, we were in good touch, and then I thought, okay, it's good to dedicate this poem to Vesti because he is dreaming of something really massive and big, and it would be, a sign of, encouragement, and as well, like I think it's a very good thing. At that time, it was just an idea on the thought and everything. So then he invited me and Ehsan to this ECL anthem, and now I'll read the ECL anthem in a bit of poem version. Take a ball, take a bat, smash it hard as far as you can. Dream along, aim for the stars, conquer the game to be the ECL king. Dream along, aim for the stars, conquer the game to be the ECL king. Time to be brave and strong. Let your heart pound with the cheer of the crowd. Matches on, take your chance, claim that throne, cause ECL king will be crowned. So this is the main core of it.
And so it was the first poem that evolved into the second poem.
Exactly, you can say that. So first poem, then it evolved. We wrote a lot of things, and then it came into one version. After that, then we invited Shahid to read through our lines and everything. Then after that, we made few changes based on our suggestions and everything we made, because with our voice and with the music, we made couple of changes. So then this is how it got evolved. It was like almost a 2-month process, I guess. 2.5 months process, yeah.
So that's Shahid Sufi, who you can see there holding the cricket ball in her hand in the picture that's just next to me. It was very much a collective effort. And we're going to hear soon from Ehsan Latif, who, of course, put the music to go with those lyrics. But just what were you trying to capture in those very poetic lyrics that sum up what the European Cricket League is trying to achieve?
So the thing is, first of all, I wanted to capture the fun aspect of the game. And also this is for a bigger picture. So European cricket is not about me, you, or someone else. It's also about the kids. So, and we want to encourage the kids to, find the fun in the game, and where cricket is not a dominant sport in many parts of these countries here. So when I started playing cricket, and when we all started playing cricket, I think we can agree with this, that what we know about cricket was we have to take a bat, we have to take a bowl as fast as you can, hit the ball as hard as you can, smash it hard. So that's like the most fun aspect. The fun aspect, I wanted to capture that in the first line. And then after that, the evolution is like, okay, after you start hitting, after you see that initial success and the thing on the TVs, and you also start playing street cricket and gully cricket and, club cricket, then you want to be, a star, an international star or someone. So you dream to be at that place, and then slowly you evolve into that manner. And that's what ACL is about, I guess. Once I wrote this with this in mind, and then when I came to ECL and I saw sixes flying here and there, and I just thought, okay, wow, this is what I think we wanted to capture. This emotion is what we as a team wanted to capture at the end of the day. And I think the lyrics was complementing what was happening in the ground.
So do get involved in the comments with any questions or things that you want to chip in with. You can either use the question bar at the very bottom of your screen or just flash in a comment, which is what Yannick Bischoff's done. He says, lockdown having an impact on your hair, Harish. And Praj Kiran says, where has your beard vanished to, Harish?
yeah. So that's been the question always. I just decided like 2 weeks back that I'll take off my beard. Because I forgot how my face looks like. It's been almost a year since I took off my beard, and I had it this long. And many of my friends say that half my face is gone. So in the photo, you can see that it's a bit more longer, like this.
Yeah, you're unrecognizable. So you just look like a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
But on the note of ECL 19, you've just touched on it, but obviously you were there. What was it like? You've written these lyrics, you've gone away with and been part of the team that's turned that into the anthem. But then to go to La Manga and hear that pumping out constantly as the theme and the soundtrack, the beating heart of the European Cricket League as a track, that must have been spine-tingling.
Yeah, that's something we didn't. So the initial part of the tournament, like for the first 2 days, it was not planned to do it. So what happened was, like, the first time it was played was when the trophy was introduced just before the finals, and that was like, okay, wow, this is good, this is coming off good, because like on a bigger stage we didn't still hear it, like you artistically, as you have that little bit of nervousness, how it will be like, interpreted. Okay, now this is fine. But the main moment when I was like, really happy, and I was doing a little bit of DJ work background, and then I was responsible for, turning the track on, the ECL anthem, when the prize is given to the winners, VOC Rotterdam. So I just gave it, and at that moment I felt, okay, wow, this is good. I want to see this in front. After playing the song, I just ran and I just went to the front, and I was seeing like, and it was at that time I felt the happiness that we have managed to achieve or encapsulate the the core emotions which is needed for this tournament and everything, and also the love of the game. Basically, I think everyone came together just because of one factor, which is love for cricket. And I think that is somehow encapsulated in this anthem.
And for those that don't know, you basically all got together in a studio in Berlin, and with time running out before the European Cricket League, managed to get it finished. How stressful was that?
Oh, yeah, that's to think about it. So this is how it went by. So I used to work. So with regards to Rolex, I used to work as the days started coming closer and closer. Work, come home, lyrics, then talk to Ehsan, talk to Westy about how it can work and this thing. So sometimes I used to text before 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the night and wake up sometimes in the 3 o'clock. At the same time, Ehsan will be there, and when we used to do it. But the stressful part came after, especially when the post-recording stuff, post-production stuff, like the mastering of the audio and everything. We had to book the flights for the recording, and it was a hectic journey, but it was fun in the sense we had fun in the process of doing it. Especially doing the anthem, we were like complete day. Me, Jesse, Asad, Shaz, we all were there completely in the studio, and we had some moments of no disturbance moment, and yeah, it was a little bit hectic and stressful, but at the same time we all knew at the end of the day that we are doing something good, we are doing something which should be heard by everyone, and it was kind of also a responsibility for us to give out as best as possible.
What was it like to combine two loves of yours, of cricket and writing?
Yeah, that's something I never imagined will happen, because when I'm on a cricket field, I'm a totally different person, and when I'm outside, I'm a totally different person, and also my writing always was a little bit separate. It's like it's like a zone, it's like a mode for me, and when this happened, I thought, okay, is this possible? It was not a question that was this possible. Okay, I think it is possible, and I've never written like a love song or a poem dedicated to a particular thing or a theme. It was more of introspection and everything. But then when this happened, I thought, why not? Why not? I just have to tweak the process and find what is the process of writing for this particular anthem. And when it is with respect to a love for the game, I think it came a little bit naturally, and that's what happened in this process. So, and I was really happy. I also mentioned it to SK. I never imagined that this will come together, and one fine day it comes together, and it was a great feeling.
Because for those who don't know, you actually came out to be involved in the German team in the ICC qualifiers in Guernsey, where they got so close, losing out to Jersey, unfortunately on net run rate, despite oddly beating them comfortably in the final game. But on the round robin format, an earlier defeat to Italy had cost them qualification. And you're, like Dan Weston, a wicket-keeper batsman, and you came into the squad when he broke his finger. Just how proud are you of being involved in playing cricket for Germany, and what's your future goals with that?
Yeah, so with respect to team perspective, my personal goal is to play at the highest level as possible, keep improving personally. I want to be a better cricketer than I was last year or the previous years. Keep improving on myself, my game, focus on what is me, what is Harish, and that's the main personal goal. And I would like to play as long as possible for Germany, that would be my personal goal, because that's the highest thing which we can achieve at an international level, and of course one day represent EC, and that would be also a great thing. So what happened with Guernsey was it was an emotional roller coaster, to be honest, or not. It was a roller coaster, right? So I was playing a Sunday match, 50 overs game. I was keeping for like almost 40-45 overs, and it was a very close game and batting. So the whole day, evening, I received a call from Noxie and saying, Westy is injured, so we want you to be the backup. So can you fly in tomorrow? I was like, okay, give me some time. I'll organize other things. I told him, okay, give me some time. I'll just organize, and then all my flights got booked by night 9 o'clock, and I was set to fly the next day morning around, I think, 4 o'clock or something, and reach there in the evening. So the one main thing which happened with the team was like in one single game against Italy, 3 people got injured. Our captain got injured, Wesley got injured, and Vijay got injured. And you only take a 14-member squad and 3 are injured, and it's like really the core, everybody, though we were like disappointed and sad because of the loss as well as the loss of the injury, at some down within us, because we have put in a lot of effort and thanks to the coach and everything in preparation to this tournament, we were kind of hopeful that we can come back, because it was an outside shot that we have to win all the games, and with net run rate thing and everything. So it all happened as we had game against Norway and Jersey. So we bet Norway comfortably, and against Jersey, yeah, I think it was something phenomenal we witnessed. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play that game, it's a difficult time to think about it, but at the same time, we taken the confidence. I think we as a team taken the confidence from what happened, because we almost tried to do what was not probable. I would say it's not possible, what was not probable, and we almost achieved it. So that's a great thing as a team, and boosting the team morale and everything. And as a personal thing, I want to be in German team as long as possible, and as a team, we want to keep qualifying for the further levels, possibly be in India in 2021 if everything goes well.
It's a fantastic story, and well, I mean, it's not fantastic in terms of the outcome, but in terms of resilience to then get so close, and that extraordinary close finish that didn't work out as you guys would have wanted. Time is against us, and we've got to get our next guest in. But just quickly before you go, I understand that there's more music, anthems and lyrics in the pipeline. Is that right?
I am not sure, but but lyrics in the sense, yeah, we can always write a lot of lyrics, but nothing that I think we should. Nothing is as such confirmed right now. That's what I can say. So
a space to watch, though, certainly, if nothing else.
Yeah, something to watch out for. Yeah, exactly.
Given what you guys have already produced for that anthem, that will kind of always be synonymous.
Yeah, exactly. We also had a summer track for this anthem, which is like a rap kind of music. I think that we have already written the lyrics and done a music for it, which is in the pipeline, you can say. That would also be something exciting for everyone, because it's a very dance vibey kind of music, and it's quite exciting.
Brilliant, fantastic. Thank you so much for your time and insight, Harish, and bringing something very different that we've certainly not seen so far on the European Cricket Studio, in terms of that very emotive and beautiful poetry that got turned into an anthem. So for now, stay safe and goodbye.
Thank you, man. Bye.
Brilliant. So that was Harish talking about the lyrics for the European Cricket anthem that was heard so much on the European Cricket League last year. But let's see if we can speak to the man who actually put the music on all of that, Ehsan Latif, who I'm reliably told has been practicing on his keyboard to maybe, if we're really lucky, even give us a rendition of the anthem. But we'll have to wait and see on that. Ehsan has been the person that took those lyrics that we so beautifully heard from Harish and put a musical soundtrack around that, which became the European Cricket League anthem that's so synonymous with the competition now, and will always be there, as much like the Champions League football anthem with Zadok the Priest, something that is associated to the competition. That simple message to spread participation all around the world. Take a ball, take a bat, smash it hard as far as you can. And that is a message that everyone from the European Cricket Studio, the European Cricket Network, European Cricket League, and Dream 11 European Cricket Series. Getting Ehsan into the stream now. But remember, while we're waiting for Ehsan to join, that there's also the European Cricket Quiz with Painter, which you can join, which that starts on Friday. It's every weekend. There is a lovely pair of, well, they're not spikes, they're rubbers, but excellent painter cricket shoes there to be won. So that is one to keep an eye out for. 6 questions. It's nothing overly difficult, but there's a couple of clues or questions that will come from what happens in today's European Cricket Studio and also the studio on Thursday. So that will be one to very much keep your eyes peeled for. And Painter, of course, one of many partners who've been so helpful to making the European Cricket League happen. And we're very grateful to all of our sponsors and partners and associates across the world that make this league what it is and make this tournament and this concept. Pardon me. And of course, as well, tomorrow we've got Maximo Chat with Michael Leask. So don't miss that. That is with Vin Sandhu, and it's very much an interactive show. You can get your questions and your comments in, and they'll be answered by all of those, Michael Leask and other guests as well. Now, I can't really give away to you who those other guests are yet, but Vin Sandhu's the kind of guy who's always got something up his sleeve. So do keep an eye out for that. Make sure not to miss it. There's the quiz coming up on Friday, and then also I can exclusively announce that we'll be moving onto Facebook Live soon. So I assume if you're already following us on Instagram, you're probably on Facebook too. So make sure to be following the European Cricket account there. That's all going to start up from Monday, the 11th of May onwards. Obviously, today we've heard from Amjad Khan, but now, finally, we've got the man himself. We've heard from Amjad Khan, we've heard from Harish with the ECL lyrics, but now Ehsan Latif is here. And I understand, Ehsan, you've got the keyboard ready to maybe give us a bit of a rendition of the anthem. Can you hear me, Ehsan?
Hi, yeah, I can hear you. Hi.
I was just going to say, I understand you've got the keyboard there and you might be able to give us a bit of a spin of the anthem.
Yeah, but I just opened the project, and I just wanted to show you something, a kind of intro. I just want to play it for you.
Yeah, please do. Be great to hear what you put together. We've only got about 3 minutes or so left now for this episode, so we'll get a very quick bit of insight from you on putting together the music of the anthem, and maybe you can give us a quick play out to end the show, and then we'll definitely get you back on very soon to talk more about it.
Okay, so first of all, I'm really thankful to Latif that he trusts in me and said, okay, let's go with it if you want to make a music for the European Cricket League. So it was an honor for me, actually, first of all. And the whole thing started with this dream, my friend dream. Actually, this poet was actually Harish wrote in the Facebook. He just shared it, and I was just surprised. And he can write some really good poetry. So it was a kind of open poetry, and he actually writes open poetry. So this is how he actually write it, like, you know. And it was really heart touching, and I commend him as well that we can do something with it, and said okay. Then after a few weeks, I contacted him and I said, listen, I'm interested in to make music for European Cricket League, and I would like to make a song, maybe any kind of song. So would you be able to write some lyrics for it? And he said, okay, I would be ready for it. And so we started to message on WhatsApp, and somehow we talk with each other, and to go for it. the European Cricket League, and the plan was actually to make a rap song. So that was a bit crazy thing, and we made a lot of fun in that group. We named something, I don't know what was in the start, and once we started with the lyrics and we wrote it, everybody has given his opinion what should be it like, you know. And after a few weeks, Harish came with a very, very interesting poetry, and he wrote it in his way how he actually write, like, you know. And it was like we wanna take a ball, take a bat, smash it hard as far as you can. It was, everything was like in the starting as it was. And
I'm so sorry to cut you off, Ehsan, but we've completely run out of time. But it would be fantastic to get you on at another time where maybe the connection is a little bit stronger, maybe a bit of gremlins in the technical system, and also possibly give us a rendition of the anthem. But for now, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll definitely have you back on soon.
All right.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for watching. Apologies for some of the technical gremlins in our system there, and be sure to join Vin Sandhu, who's back tomorrow for Maximo Chat with Michael Leese. For now, though, from episode 15 of the European Cricket Studio, it's good night and goodbye.